All right, man. Is that it? Are we live? Are we
Yeah.
recording?
We're on board, man.
Here we
Episode
go.
1. What's going on,
Season
man?
1, episode 1. Not much, man. How you been? What's up
Oh,
with you?
just hanging out, drinking some beer, trying to do this podcast thing.
Yeah. Well, I guess to get started, you want to? We should probably tell them a little bit.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Mike, I'm 31, father of 3, truck driver, blue collar kind of guy. I fall pretty much in the center, but on some of the major issues, I lean right for sure. But what about you, man?
I'm Tommy. 32. Not married. No kids. Complete opposite, really. Also, we're both from a little town in Ohio. I now live in Pittsburgh. I work, corporate America, middle management, like a whole
Hockey
different
suit job.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So
Complete opposite end. Typically, I'm also the opposite as far as leaning left on most issues. I like to consider myself more moderate than I probably am in reality, but definitely opposites as far as that goes.
yeah, that's all right, man. What about Elon Musk?
Oh, okay. So I saw an article the other day about the next step of this whole Falcon Heavy project, the SpaceX mission to Mars, is that he's going to be like putting out satellite Wi-Fi. It's what did they say? They were going to bathe the Earth, or the Earth, yeah,
internet, yeah.
with high-speed internet. So, I mean, that's cool, man. That's a cool idea. Like, I like that he's pushing it.
Yeah, he's definitely an innovator, man. He's coming up with some crazy shit. I mean, he's anything from a fucking flamethrower to
Right. It's like
high-speed
everything he's
internet.
doing is, and it's also unrelated. He's got what he did PayPal, and then the car company, and then the rocket ships.
Yeah, he's all across the
selling
board.
flamethrowers.
Yeah.
I saw a video. I kind of wanted to get one of those, but I don't think it's quite the idea of like flamethrower when you picture it in your head. Like it's a
Yeah.
little bit.
Seems more like a can of Aquanet and a lighter.
Right,
would do
right,
just
yeah,
as well, you know.
Hairspray and a lighter.
Yeah, for $3, you know,
Right.
you got the basically the same thing. But I mean,
And it's getting the whole like trendy thing with it. They're being resold on eBay for like 10 times more than what retail was
what they were.
originally. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, he's crazy. He's doing a little bit of everything, man. Like, I don't know if you've seen, he had like, it's like a whole city of batteries, man. Could just run the whole world on batteries.
no, I don't think I saw that actually.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's just a giant battery that is really super powerful. I mean, he could, like I said, you could pretty much run the
He's
whole
running
world
a
on it.
whole world off of it.
Yeah. Well,
And is it theoretical, or is this something that he actually he's made this already?
I'm pretty sure he's actually made it already. I mean,
Huh? No,
He's
I haven't seen anything about that.
he's actually making batteries out of like, I'm not exactly sure what it is, but they like use diamonds or something with nuclear waste. And like they somehow put it together and it's creating like so much energy. Yeah, I mean, it's getting a little tired over there, huh?
Sorry, man.
But yeah, I mean, with that, the spaceships, everything. I mean,
He's tunneling under LA.
yeah, for the what they call it, the Hyperloop.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a high-speed railway almost for your car. I saw a video. I don't know if it's like actually supposed to be the practical way that it will be someday, but you just drive up onto like a little skid with your car, and it lowers you down onto this essentially like a train track that's running you hundreds of miles an hour. So you can get from places like LA to Las Vegas in like 10, 15 minutes rather than 3-4 hours. And there's a couple different ones proposed. He wants to do like one through the Midwest to run from like Detroit, Chicago, Cleveland, and then I think there's somewhere in Pennsylvania, either Philly or Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And then there's one for the South, and then the one out west that he's actually like breaking ground on.
Yeah.
Like I said, is LA.
Well, we've seen that article earlier where it said underneath all the SpaceX facilities.
Yeah,
it's
right.
already
Is where he's
digging.
starting the digging.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It helps out a lot of things like carbon emissions and everything. I mean,
Yeah, right. There's a whole nother level to it when you look at it like that. Like a selling point. Like not only are you reducing all of these cars from actually having to be running, you're also getting people
places
where they want to
quicker.
go faster.
Yeah, whereas, a trip from LA to New York would take you 3-4 days in a car.
Right.
So, I mean, you're breaking down all the carbon emissions from that giant trip and essentially, you know, a fraction of it, really. I mean, it's barely any carbon emissions.
Yeah, what did you say? From where to where?
From like LA to New York.
Oh, yeah, like, and that might be eventually, but right now there won't be anything like coast to coast.
Yeah, crazy like
it's just
that.
these three little, like, which I'm sure will be eventually connected.
Yeah.
But I think the Southern Loops was somewhere through Florida, like up to Atlanta, and then maybe like curved around to like Tennessee area.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So not crazy distances right now, just, you know.
Yeah, right. And then like, I'm sure there's like a stage 2 that will connect all of them.
Yeah, it's like a whole infrastructure.
Exactly, yeah. Like how like how we do with roads and electric and everything else at first.
Wasn't there one of the presidents or somebody proposed like a railway? I can't remember what they call it.
The intercontinental, yeah, the coast to coast thing.
Yeah, where they had like Disney has those train cars that run on the tracks to get you from point A to point B in Disney.
Oh.
Kind of like an Amtrak, but they're a lot faster and move a lot quicker and get you places.
So you mean this is like a current thing? I thought you meant like the person who like that was like a big initiative at like a certain point in time was going coast to coast.
Yeah,
like
a few years back. I can't remember which president it was.
The original
talking
railroad.
about it.
You're talking about. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was, but that was their big appeal, was the infrastructure idea on that. It might have been Bush actually, but I can't remember exactly which one it was.
Right.
But I mean, if there is anybody in the world that could do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's a dude for the job. Like they were saying on Rogan the other day, like every generation just has these people that are just so smart that everybody else is just like, fuck it, let him go, let him see what he can do. We'll do it. Yeah. You want to drill tunnels under like the most seismically active portion of our country? Yeah, I guess, man.
I mean, well, that's like
start under your headquarters.
The whole SpaceX thing, like you would think you'd have to have some sort of clearances.
Yeah, right. What level is access you got to get? Who gives you the okay to launch a fucking rocket? Can I do that?
Yeah, like if we have millions of dollars, can we just like decide we're gonna put a fucking spacecraft in space or what?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen on the article though it said something about kind of like he leached onto a program already, like I think it was the Spanish program where he just threw his satellites on with that program or whatnot.
Yeah, I think that they are like there is scientific reasons for this trip as well, this launch.
Yeah.
But I think that the project's being ran by SpaceX, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they might have agreed to launch some Spanish
Yeah.
satellites for scientific stuff along with it, but man, that'd be crazy. And fuck, I mean, anything's better than goddamn Comcast. That's what everybody's dealing with now. I mean,
well, I'm sure he'll have some competition there. I mean, on that article it said he had competition from who was it, Boeing and Lockheed Martin that were forming a alliance just to try and beat him out of the race.
Right.
For
Well,
space.
good. I mean, that's the biggest benefit to capitalism is like the competition that's breeded because of it.
Absolutely.
So I mean, if that's the case, then wonderful, man. Let them try to keep up.
I mean, he's like I said, he's the guy for the job. He does all these crazy things.
Yeah.
He's very innovative type of person. And a fucking genius at that.
Right.
But I mean, he could definitely do it, and he's done some crazy things. Like I said, with the batteries in the city, the nuclear batteries or what have you.
I saw that he proposed something for like Puerto Rico. Like he wanted to rebuild the grid for that. Is that maybe?
Yeah, that might be what I'm thinking of.
It was like he wanted to put enough cells out to power like the whole thing. But then like a lot of people pointed out, because he's like really built up a lot to be like a heroic figure of like pioneering. And he is in a lot of ways, but he's like a capitalist also. So like the result of him being able to build this he would essentially have a monopoly on the entire electricity supply for Puerto Rico. So like there's not like it's not only like altruistic like
well, I mean, you look
motivations.
I don't know if you've watched much videos on the Tesla, but there's a video surfing around the internet that the Tesla is drag racing with other cars, and it's just smoking
by itself, or is like somebody's driving it.
No, somebody's driving the
okay.
Tesla. I can't remember what the name of it is. The Roadster or something like that. Maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
But they're racing other cars like GTOs, Mustangs.
Right. Yeah. It's like a legit
Cadillac
like supercar.
CTSs. Yeah. And it's fucking smoking all of them. I mean, it's a fucking battery operated car. The 0 to 60 on it's like 3 seconds or something like that. It's stupid insane.
Yeah, right. I don't like follow. I mean, I guess I do the auto industry that closely, but like I watch Top Gear, and like that's they've had them on there, and like I don't know that they had the Tesla, but they've had Porsche has a big electric hybrid thing too, and they say how much crazy pickup the electric engines have. Like it just blows the old school like gas powered engines out of the water in that first few seconds off the line area. But I'm losing my voice over here. It definitely does. If we dedicate enough resources into developing it, it can absolutely be just as good as gas engines and those kind of, you know what I mean, in that regard.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're already doing it too.
It's not always Priuses. But.
Yeah, well, I seen a thing the other day, like a Prius can go like 350 miles or 400 miles. Not a Prius, the smart car or something like that. Another electric car that's all electric. But it can go like 300, 350 miles or 400 miles on a charge. But the new Teslas can do like 600, 650. So
right, that was also like a big drawback for the electric was the range. Like, how much use is it really if you can't like drive, you know, like what we were saying from New York to or from LA to Las Vegas. Like if you can't do a 3-hour drive, you've got to stop and recharge your goddamn battery on the way. Like, that's not practical for anybody. Like you're just gonna take a 3-hour drive and make it a 6-hour journey because you're gonna stop in the middle and charge your battery. Like fuck out of here. We're not gonna do that. But the technology comes with it.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of sheets are updating their lots and putting the actual charge.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. They've been doing it a lot down in West Virginia.
The parking garages in Pittsburgh all have like spots dedicated for electric vehicles so that you can charge them while you're there. Yeah. But I haven't noticed them at gas stations or that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, does he have anything to do with like the self-driving cars?
Musk, yeah, like Tesla is like that's the biggest one in production.
Oh yeah, I've seen the semis for sure. They were a part of the self-driving semis.
Yeah, the programs, the initiatives. I don't know that they're necessarily rolled out yet. The semis, the heavy load stuff, but they've got like those auto drive features or like autopilot features on like their luxury cars, or like things like 60, 70,000. Like, and it pretty much is driving on its own, but it's not to the point where it's like they want to tell you to advise, like, go ahead and take a fucking nap on your morning commute.
Well, that's what a comedian was talking about, how he was driving down the 405 or something like that in L.A., and he's seen a car just scooting down the highway, and there's a guy in the driver's seat just taking a nap. I mean, like, how much faith do you have to have in the car, let alone other people, you know, because you got all the idiots around you, you know, that are way more important than everybody else.
Cutting you off in fucking traffic, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, you got to have a lot of faith in that car to do that, you know.
Absolutely.
You know, what if you come across an Amish buggy, you know?
Yeah,
You're taking a nap, and all of a sudden, bam, there's an Amish buggy right in front of you.
Dude, I was on my way here earlier, and I got to the little red light down there at Rogers, and a fucking buggy pulls out and makes it right. It's got this, like, elaborate setup of, like, halogen headlights and, like, amber turn signals and stuff. But it's being pulled by a goddamn horse. Like, at some point, man, like, you're only kidding yourself, dude. Like, you've got... Was that thing? Is it gonna be all right? You're gonna have GPS on it next year? Like as long as it's pulled by horses, then you're still pretending like you're.
Yeah, I mean batteries are still electric, right?
Yeah, so, right.
I mean, at some
it's
point,
still electricity.
You just got to say fuck it. You know, get one of those Tesla batteries, put it on the bottom of your buggy, get rid of the horse, put a drivetrain on it.
Yeah,
and go,
yeah, right. There you go. Just fucking cut out the middle bit.
Yeah, you just drive her down the road, man. Fuck, save the horse, ride a buggy, ride a Tesla buggy. You know, that's gonna be their new thing.
That was like. One of the early names for like the first car. Have you ever heard that? Was the horseless buggy?
No.
Yeah, that was like before automobile was coined. Yeah. Like that was what one of the early inventors were calling theirs.
That's pretty funny, man. Well, we might see him here soon, man. You know,
there we go. Right.
They might form an alliance with Elon Musk. You know, the Amish and Elon Musk building electric buggies.
Right.
I never understood that, how you're using electric drills, lights. You know, you see these guys that hire the Amish to build like a barn or something for them.
Right. Yeah, there was a house that was getting put up right like where I used to park whenever I would go to work in the mornings, and it was like went from an open lot, like an empty lot, to like within like 2 or 3 days there was a whole foundation built and like half a house, and it was Amish dudes. Like they came to work in the mornings in trucks, but they like had on the uniform. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, man, they're efficient for sure.
Well, I mean, you figure they don't have half the distractions we have. You know what I mean? They don't have cell phones to keep them, busy.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Playing around, so they got work. You know what I mean? They go to their job, they do it. They don't
All
goof
business.
around. Yeah, they're not. We know they're not unionized, so they're not taking a 9 o'clock coffee, a 12 o'clock lunch, and
Yeah, that's true too.
2 o'clock coffee. I mean, they might be. I don't know. Is there an Amish union? I don't believe there
I
is.
doubt it.
Yeah, but I mean, they get their shit done.
Yeah, man.
So, but yeah, Elon Musk, he's the shit, man.
Yeah, man. He's the man.
Yeah, he does a lot of crazy things, but fuck, man, a lot of crazy things that help out the world, really.
Yeah,
Could possibly.
We'll see.
Anyways.
Right? Yeah, he's definitely trying. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's, he's doing a lot better than Mr. Tweet-a-lot there, Trump, so far.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know, man. The Donald. Let's save him for a later date.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Right.
I don't mind him, but the tweeting's outrageous.
Definitely not his best attribute.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, you would think somebody would say something, hey, you got to stop fucking tweeting, man.
Yeah, right.
Or at least stop saying stupid shit on your tweets.
I mean, he honestly believes that it's like he's doing good when he's doing that. Like, I don't know, man. Could you imagine like sitting him down and having a conversation? Like, I don't think he takes much advice from anybody.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely egotistical. That's for sure. I mean, I like what he's done. Some of the things he's done. I like what he proposes to do. But I mean, the tweeting.
Yeah, I'll give him that, man. He's sticking to his agenda. He's not backing down. He's like the acknowledging Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, and like he made all these outlandish promises that like everybody was like he's gonna back off this shit. The wall, like people who never expected him to win were like, okay, well he's in here now, but he's definitely gonna back off on some of this more like outlandish stuff, and he hasn't. Like he has stayed true to his word, and I will not argue with that at all.
But we can all agree he tweets too much.
Yeah.
Whether you support him or not.
Tone down the fucking tweeting.
Yeah, tone down the tweeting. And that was another thing everybody thought he would tone down when he got, it was just kind of a way to get his message across to get elected, but, he's still doing it.
My mom said she wrote him a letter earlier. And I was like, well, what do you mean you wrote him a letter? And she was like, well, I just got on there. I don't know if she, like, commented on a post about Donald and she thought he was, like, checking the comments or what, but she let him know, like, she appreciates his social media presence. So.
I mean, honestly, it could be a great thing. It really could.
I mean, you can't argue as far as transparency goes. I wish that, like, it's without a doubt behind the curtain and a transparent view of the presidency that we have never gotten before.
Yeah.
I wish that it was a more like reassuring view. Like once I feel like we're getting a peek behind the curtain, and what we're seeing is somebody like running around with their hair on fire.
Yeah.
But
something we necessarily want to see.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't. Without a doubt, he is giving us more access to the office than we've ever had in history.
Yeah. What a better way to reach, everybody in the country.
Can't argue with that.
He just needs to stop doing, tweeting stupid shit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe just run it through an aide, like, real quick. Like, I mean, just cut down on, like, the spelling errors, like, the Kofifi bullshit. Like, someone should have, like, an approve button. Like, they could even do it, like, just program it in behind the scenes so he doesn't realize that there's a person that's giving it to him. But, like, are you sure? And when he hits yes, it goes to somebody else's phone to, like, do a quick once-over. You know what I mean?
I just find it crazy that, like
maybe don't call the most, like, irrational leader of the free world, like, don't call him a fat little bitch or whatever. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not an exact quote, but it might as well fucking be. Like, that's what he was saying.
Yeah, it wasn't much better than what we just said. I mean, I don't think you're allowed to say midget anymore, so fat little person. But either way, what he said was not very pleasant.
Right. I can't imagine that it, I don't know.
Sat very well.
Yeah, like, improved
our relationship.
Yeah. Right, your relationship.
Like, there are a couple of brothers just razzing each other, and, he come up with a better one.
I mean, I don't know, man, because they did more tests there for a minute, but you can't argue that, like, their position has, like, kind of softened. Like, they're at the Olympics. Like, they're participating more with global, like, countries than they have been for a while. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I can't imagine it's going to work out great. But I can't fault it for the things that it has. Like, it has. Yeah, I mean, if you asked me last July, I would have thought we would have had fucking boots on the ground in North Korea by the end of 2017. But we didn't. So, I mean.
Yeah, I will. At least he's active.
It's not traditional foreign policy
for sure,
by any means, but
it's active. That's the silver lining of it. Past presidents haven't been quite so active. Might have let shit like that slide, but he moves on it. Might not be the best way, but it happens.
Right, absolutely.
I'd say action's better than inaction in a situation like that. I would say. You can't just let people walk all over you and not say anything or do anything about it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you get to the point of, like, I don't know, the U.S.'s position globally. I feel like we're not, it'd be hard to make a case that we're, like, intimidated by them. Like, I don't know that we need necessarily the Twitter commentary on it. Like, we've got bases all over the world. We're capable of blowing them up, like, 150 times over, and I mean, I'm sure it's 100 times more than that. And they're like just trying to get their rocket to go past Japan. Like,
they're just.
I mean, there's
coming off the boat, flopping over in the water. I mean, that's what it seems like.
I don't know that the Twitter commentary is necessarily, you know what I mean, adding to our positive position that we already are in.
I'm pretty sure we can all agree on that one. If he could just stay off there, it wouldn't be so bad. But he just can't seem to do that. I mean,
that would be a good start.
I just find it really hard to believe that, like, that's actually Donald sitting on the shitter, typing on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know, man. I can't imagine it's anybody else. Like, I can't imagine anybody else with a paid position is hitting OK, is hitting send on these.
Well, maybe he's like overseeing it and saying, "Hey, you gotta kind of act like me," It's just amazing to me, like, the most...
You're giving him too much credit.
But it's the most grueling job in the world, you know what I mean? Like, he's got so much shit to do, but he has, like, fucking... what seems like at least 2 hours a day to fucking tweet. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, have you been paying attention? I think that he might just be spending 2 hours a day watching, like, morning news. Like, he live tweets fucking the Fox and Friends morning, like, news hour. Like... They talk about shit, and then 20 minutes later, he tweets a quote from it. Like,
yeah, we just read one, actually.
Right, yeah.
What did it say? Fox News, because his balls can't lick themselves or something like that. It was a pretty good meme.
Right.
Which, I'm so glad I'm alive for the meme generation, man, because some of the shit that's coming out is just fucking hilarious.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, right? I mean, the creativity and fucking nonsense on those things is... just baffles my mind. Like, a guy sitting around just coming up with a fucking meme. Just takes a picture of fucking Eddie Murphy and makes it the funniest fucking thing you've seen that day.
Yeah.
Just with a few words on it. It's fucking great. I seen one earlier that said...
Yeah, it's crazy how they just, like, some of them just catch on. And, like...
Yeah, right?
There's, like, I don't know, like Scumbag Steve or, like, these ones that have been around for, like, years.
Yeah.
Like...
I seen one earlier. It was, you want Donald to enforce stricter gun laws, but yet he's not your president. Or something like that, but it was fucking hilarious. I mean, I actually saved it. It was so good.
Yeah, not to get too far into it, but, like, he is absolutely saying, like, reasonable things. Like, he's presenting himself right now as the gun control president. And, I mean, I didn't read the art of the deal, but it's very much like my opinion. Like, this is a starting point for him. Like, he's saying this now because it looks good, and then, like, at a point we're going to come to a table and he's going to say, well, I didn't really mean this, that, and the other thing. Let's get rid of, like, bump stocks. Yeah. And then we're all going to agree to, like, settle on that as a solution, and then, like, everything else is going to continue on.
We're getting a little too deep into the gun control. That's supposed to be episode 2. So
well,
if you guys are really into that,
circle back around.
Yeah, definitely come back for episode 2 for that one, because that's our next topic on our second episode.
But anyways, what else is up, man? I like the setup we got going here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I'm very surprised as well as it turned out, because
it came together quickly, man. Like a month ago, there was none of this.
All of a sudden, I mean, there was nothing. There was no computer, no desk, nothing, man.
Right.
So, I mean, it worked out pretty well.
You're, like, all set here. Like, if the podcast thing doesn't go through, you can, like, start renting out, like, studio time to, like, aspiring rappers or something, man. Like,
well, like I said, I'm no professional, so I got to give a shout out to my buddy Gary Russell.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he helped me out a lot with all this, man. You know, telling me what products were okay, what was going to work the best and everything. So shout out to Gary, man. We appreciate it.
Shout out Gary. While we're at it, shout out to Bob from work. Hooked us up with the logo. It's pretty legit.
Yeah.
Like we came up with some quickly thrown together stuff. Like everybody was impressed. I think that it turned out pretty well.
Yeah. Everybody I showed to said it looks real professional, looks really good. And what I came up with looked like a fucking toddler.
It was a good start, man.
You say that.
Bob took it to another level.
Yeah, Bob took it to a professional level, made it look good, man. Something we could actually throw in iTunes, and people aren't like, well, I'm not going to listen to them fucking guys because, they had a toddler draw their fucking logo. But it did turn out really well, man.
That's good.
So this is all going pretty well so far.
And so what else you've been, is this work only here with the setup, or you've been doing anything else with the PC? You haven't been doing any gaming or anything, right?
I gotta admit, I've been playing PUBG, man.
Yeah.
PUBG's the shit, dude. You gotta get it. That's Player Unknown Battleground, man. It's fucking
I've heard
awesome
good things,
game.
man. I'd be lying if I probably shouldn't even admit this, but I have watched a couple videos of people playing it. It looks fucking cool, dude. It looks like a good game, but it's supposed to be on PlayStation eventually, right?
Yeah, but from my experience with it, it's definitely a game that you need to play on the computer, for sure.
PC Master Race.
Yeah, I mean it is, man. Call me a PC Nazi, but it's definitely a game you need to play.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely benefits to it. Like, I mean, you without a doubt, like you were saying earlier, man. I mean, just from the mere fact of like you have so many keys, like you're at an advantage just.
And they're all right
versus,
there
like,
too.
your
Yeah,
controller, right? You're gonna have a better level of.
So I was talking to my tattoo artist earlier. He's got it on Xbox and he's got it on the PlayStation. He agreed totally. He said that, it's so much better on the computer. Like you were saying earlier, you put it on the console and you gotta hold this button to hit that button to do something else.
Right. You're limited in what you can do.
Yeah, too many buttons have to multitask. Whereas on the computer you got more buttons than you really need.
Level of control, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a bomb ass game, man. You definitely worth getting a computer. I mean, there's definitely advantages and disadvantages to that. I mean, you build a computer today, it's awesome as hell, plays every game, but in 6 months a new game comes out.
The hardware limits.
Yeah, and you can't even play it because it's so far behind.
Yeah, that's definitely a benefit to like the consoles versus like the PCs. Like it's static, so it's limited to what the developers can do with it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're not stuck. Like that's going to be good enough to play any games that come out for the next like 4 or 5 years plus. Like,
yeah, but that's kind of also the downfall too because you can't upgrade it.
Right. Yeah. It's how much level of upkeep do you want to like put into it? Like if you're somebody who who's into that kind of thing and you don't mind constantly re-upping your system, then. Right.
Well, they're kind of stagnant too because they can only do so much, keep it within budget. Because why would you spend, say they make it upgradable, make it a little bit better, and now you're paying $1,000 for a console, but for $1,200 you can build a badass computer that'll play anything, anytime on the highest settings. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So they got to stay.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, there's all the arguments for like frame rate and the graphic levels or whatever. So. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely benefits to it. Even just like as far as resolution and that kind of stuff. Like Courtney's got this new phone. I was looking at it earlier, and like just the difference in the screen, but from those new OLEDs, it's what is it? The Pixel.
Yeah, there's like a massive pixel difference.
But no, like what is it? It's a Google.
Oh
Pixel.
Yeah, the Google Pixel 2. It's a badass phone, man. It's white shell and the power button's orange, which I don't really like orange, but it looks really cool.
It's like a pale color. I've always been team like iPhone, but if I was gonna switch, it would definitely be to that.
Yeah, Steve, if you're listening, Steve Wozniak, you should probably shut this off now because you don't want to hear that. But it's a really cool fucking phone, man. I mean, that's gonna be my next phone for sure. But it's takes really good pictures. It's got that Google Translator too, where you can put the earbuds in.
Oh yeah.
And if somebody comes up to you speaking a different language, it'll automatically translate in your ear.
That's pretty neat. Yeah,
that's
the feature.
awesome, man. That's like real life social networking. You know what I mean? Because now.
Yeah, in real time.
Yeah, it's getting over those, those
that language barrier.
Yeah, the barrier. That's what I was looking for.
Fuck, I need that sometimes when I'm like calling into customer service for like, my cell phone or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you almost gotta have a translator.
But they always say this is Bob from Indiana.
Right? Yeah. It always states that. I'm not buying it, Bob.
Yeah, you're not Bob. Stop it. But it's, the phone, she's only had it for half a day, but man, it is really, really cool. It's definitely going to be my next phone.
Yeah, you right off the bat, it's a big difference with that OLED display versus
it looks crystal
the
clear.
old school kind. Like, it really does make the colors a lot more vibrant.
Which is weird. Like cell phones, man, they're not going anywhere anymore lately. It seems like they're pretty stagnant.
Yeah, like incremental upgrades almost. Like
same technology, but
yeah,
better.
like a little bit better camera, a little bit better processor.
Yeah,
right. Like
just little things.
I feel like that jump in the screen is probably the biggest thing we've had in a while. Like, I mean, since like the fingerprint thing.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago.
For sure.
And I like the fact that Google kept the fingerprint thing, like the Face ID. Like it just, I haven't tried one yet. The people that I know that have one of the new iPhones like say that the Face thing is nearly just as good as the fingerprint. But there's certain situations where I just feel like it would be better and more convenient to have the fingerprint. It's nice that they like left that as an option for you.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
Apple's so quick to phase shit out sometimes. I think it gets annoying. Like,
well, I don't know how true it is, but I don't know if you ever seen that meme. There's always a meme going around that like Apple got this amount of pixel camera. Samsung had it like 2 years ago. Or they got this. Samsung had it like a year ago.
Yeah, it's not groundbreaking till Apple does it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, I've never actually researched it, and
Well, no, I mean it's true. Like I feel like Apple was really ahead of the curve. I mean, they introduced a smartphone, so they caught everybody else on their heels. But then Samsung and like Google also caught up after like 3 or 4 years. They've been the ones really releasing like the big stuff first. Like even like that OLED screen is, what I mean. That's been on Samsung phones for like a fucking year already. Like,
well, you remember the old Windows phones? Like 10 people got them, and then that was all you see.
Yeah, I had a good buddy of mine back in the day had one, and it was like, it was cool. It was like, oh man, when like T-Mobile had sidekicks, Windows had like those Windows mobiles, and it was like, it was almost there, but it just wasn't there enough to actually be worth it.
Yeah,
like,
to catch on and really hit it hard.
And like, I think the sidekick's biggest problem was I would have definitely wanted one of those if it wasn't exclusive to fucking T-Mobile. And T-Mobile was shit here, so like you're sacrificing like, it's way cooler, but it doesn't do the primary thing that I need it to do right now. And that's to fucking make phone calls.
They're kind of stagnant right now, but I mean, they kind of got into virtual reality a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But now they're starting to get that, what is it, augmented reality?
Yeah, like the Google Glass stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that shit's getting pretty intense. I mean, they said that you could, like, wear these glasses and it would be like you and I are sitting here right now.
It just appears like I'm across the table from you. How you
but you're, back in Pittsburgh,
I mean, that's crazy. That almost needs, like, additional technology on my end, doesn't it? Like, don't I have to have something, like, scanning me to, like, project me on your end?
Yeah, you would think. I mean, I'm not really sure how it all works. I mean, that's well above my pay grade.
Right. But
I mean, it's intense.
Something to check out. They're definitely doing cool shit over there. Like, the idea of that augmented reality has been around really since the beginning of cell phones, but it's like nobody's really coming up with like practical uses for it. Like honestly, the biggest mainstream use of augmented reality was fucking Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that like it's really getting into like, you know what I mean? The mainstream.
Yeah, it's not caught on yet.
Right.
You were saying something earlier about like augmented reality porn or something like that.
Oh no, yeah, the VR or no, it's not AI. Artificial intelligence. It's an AI program that is like able to scan existing video footage and it like pastes these like celebrity faces on top of them.
Really?
And like all of the like whatever as mainstream as you get, like websites are banning them because it's like they're saying it's a privacy concern. It's like an invasion of these people's privacy because you're essentially taking their face and pasting on some shit that they never did. And I mean, of course, like, as human beings, it starts out with something fucking like porn, but think about where that's going to be in 5 years. Like, there's people who, like, for whether you want to admit it or not, who are buying into, like, this fake news stuff. Like, it's not just, like, a Donald Trump, like, buzzword. Like, fake news is an actual thing that exists. Yeah. And there's people who just believe these made-up bullshit articles on the internet. Can you imagine in 5 years when they're able to, like it'll be a video of fucking Hillary Clinton, like, literally saying, like, Benghazi was awesome. I love. Let's do 5 more Benghazis,
Yeah.
and people will believe that she actually said that. Like that's very much a reality that we're going to be living
got
in
the evidence
in the
right
next
here.
like
Watch this
3
video.
years. Right, people will believe it. There'll be like 80 links posted in the comments of like from credible sources saying that like we analyzed the footage and this has clearly been doctored, but nobody fucking reads past the comments. So
they read the headline and that's it. Watch the video.
it's the headline and the fucking video that gets shared.
Well, that's like I heard there's a company out there now that advertises if they get like literally 5 minutes of your voice, like they could listen to our podcast, take 5 minutes of our voice, and they could pretty much make us say anything at all, whatever they wanted. So I mean, that's
not even very much like footage. You know what I mean? Like
that
probably exists. Like anybody under the age of 20 probably has that much footage of them like on their online, you know what I mean, on their Snapchats or their Instagrams or whatever. Like you could compile that together probably pretty quickly to add up to that amount.
You know, somebody could commit a crime. You know, say they rob a bank, and then they could call the police and say, "Hey, my name's so and so. I did this. Come and get me."
Right.
The next thing you know, you got the SWAT team knocking on your door.
Right. That was like a thing with video game people, Twitch or whatever, the live stream.
Did you? Like that?
Yeah. Did you know anything about that? Like, I know that it was a thing, but I don't know how they pulled it off. Like, I know that at least one time, or it seemed to me multiple times, people were able to like file fake police reports that then caused like SWAT teams to kick down these people's doors while they were live.
I think it was actually like pretty simple. Like they were just, well, I say simple like I'm some sort of genius hacker or something, but they were hacking the accounts, getting their addresses, and then they would call the local police department and say, "Oh, I have a bomb. I'm gonna blow this up," or I have hostages. And then the SWAT would knock on the door, and it would all be live streamed.
With their fucking headphones in and not answer.
Yeah.
Not even knock at the door.
I mean, these kids these days come up with these fucking crazy things, and they do these things that
Kids these days.
I know, right? Eating
these
Tide Pods
goddamn
and swatting
kids.
people,
Right.
But it was like a whole fad, and there's like several videos online of it happening to people. And I'm not gonna lie, I found it funny, but I laugh at things I probably shouldn't laugh at,
Well, no, I mean it is funny, and it's like the fucking insaneness of it all, like that you would never even imagine would be a problem that we would have to that would exist. Like we were saying also earlier about the like those self-driving cars, and that like it's a real problem for them of people bullying the auto-driving vehicles, because like you just like think about drunks like pouring out of a stadium. Like if we get to a point where all the cars are self-driving, like they'll just walk out into fucking traffic because they know the car's going to stop, and that like opens the door for all kinds of like ridiculous ways for this technology to be exploited. Like imagine an armed robber, you know what I mean? He just walks out in front of your car, he knows it's going to come to a stop, they approach someone else approaches from the side, like there's all kinds of things that are going to be hurdles, right? Yeah, that are going to be hurdles to this kind of technology.
I'm pretty sure you just invented a whole new kind of bullying.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
the automobile bullying.
Like support groups here by the end of the fucking next
social
week.
Justice warriors, leave the cars alone. We'll have riots and everything.
Yeah, right.
It'll be nuts. That's the whole self-driving vehicles, man. R&L is starting to all the new vehicles or all the new trucks they're buying have this thing on there called a wingman. It's got a camera on the front of the truck and a camera on both sides of the truck, and it'll read like speed limit signs, and it'll tell you if you're going over the speed limit.
Oh yeah.
It'll read the white line, yellow line, so if you're going over the lines, it'll beep.
A lot like those Tesla sounds.
Yeah, and it reads the speed limit of the car in front of you. So like if you have your cruise control set, you'll be driving down the road, say you're doing 65, the car in front of you is only doing 60, so it'll automatically slow you down to that speed limit, so you don't rear end them. But
that's pretty neat.
There's a negative side of that too. Like, yeah, right. So my buddy was driving down the road on a back road, and there was another road that kind of wide off. It wasn't a 90-degree turn; it just kind of veered off. I gotcha. And the guy stopped at his mailbox right, as soon as he got on that road. Yeah.
Over. Okay.
So the truck thought that the car stopped right in front of him and slammed on the brakes. He said shit was flying everywhere. Which it wasn't that bad.
Cargo probably tumbling all over the place.
So it wasn't that bad then, but I'm thinking, well, put some ice on the road or some snow on the road, and you might have just killed a driver with that.
Yeah, right. If the brakes had locked up like that, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that the idea of weather, you know what I mean, is something that they are taking into consideration. But like you're saying, I mean, there's there's a million variables that we're not
Yeah.
going to be able to account for until we start getting them out there. Like those, like I've told you before about like the test Ubers in Pittsburgh. Like every day when I get to work, when I'm crossing the street, there's one sitting at the red light, and they're out like in rush hour traffic trying to, like, you know what I mean, figure it out as best they can. Like they aren't self-driverless yet. There's still somebody sitting in the driver's seat and everything just in case. But like they're working on it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, is until it's all driverless vehicles, you still have the variable of human beings.
Human error, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, human error. You know,
And that's the biggest. Yeah, I mean that's the biggest very obviously, right? In all.
Yeah, I mean, you know as well as I do. I drive all day long, so there's idiots out there, man. They don't.
Yeah, right.
They're way
Moving
more
in and
important
out of
than
fucking
everybody
traffic
else.
and shit. Yeah, right.
Yeah, like I seen a guy eating a fucking bowl of cereal driving down the road. Like
That's insane. That's
eat
not
a
even
fucking-
like a car friendly meal,
Yeah, right,
man.
like eat a burger or some fries or something. A fucking bowl of cereal. I mean, I see people sitting on their laptops while they're driving, holding
I bet,
newspapers
yeah,
up the
man. I
steering
bet
wheel.
you see the fucking worst of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's fucking people doing stupid shit all the time. I was driving through 376 on Robinson one time, and there was a guy driving down the road, and he is coming up right beside me, and I always check down in the vehicles beside me,
Right.
and the guy's fucking playing with himself.
Huh.
I'm thinking to myself, all these other truck drivers get titties flashed at them.
Now, is that something that happens commonly? Huh?
It does. Not for me, though. I get the guy jacking off driving down the road. I mean, that's my kind of luck, though. But, like, how lonely do you got to be that, or how busy do you have to be that the only time you can find to jack off is driving down 376?
Multitasking is a valuable, like,
yeah, apparently.
thing to do, but I don't know. I think you might be pushing the boundaries a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, how can you even enjoy that, especially driving through Pittsburgh traffic? I mean, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, agreed.
But you see weird shit like that all the time, man. Or, the epidemic of fucking being on the phone while you're driving.
Yeah.
Texting or talking. Literally like 3 out of 5
Oh, yeah,
vehicles.
I bet you see that.
It's nuts, man. Or you'll see a guy like hop out in the left lane doing 75, and then he'll slow down while somebody just texted him.
Oh,
So
that's
he
what it
fucking-
is, huh?
Now he's out in the left-hand lane fucking blocking everybody. People are honking horns at him. And then he'll get out of the way, but that person that was honking the horn at him will do the same fucking thing 5 miles down the road anyways, It's fucking crazy. But
yeah, I think that it's good to get it out, humans out of it as much as you can. Like, there's definitely going to be some growing pains and like a transitional period, like you're saying, where there's people still driving. But like, I think my buddy was saying one day, like, no, man, they'll never take that right away from people. I was like, dude, like, it's only something that's even existed for 100 years now. Like, it's not like this fundamental freedom, like, ingrained in humanity. Like, they absolutely will. Like, it's going to happen first on freeways. Like, you'll have to have a self-driving car to use a certain lane on the highway. And everybody else, and then eventually you won't be allowed on the highway at all. You only have to be on surface streets with like old-fashioned human driving cars, and then eventually it won't even be on there. Like, as you like, they'll phase themselves out naturally. Like it doesn't have to be like this, like government overreach that everything always gets painted as. Like,
well, I mean, it'll save a lot of lives. It really will.
Yeah,
but it's gonna take a lot of jobs too.
Yeah, it will.
But I mean, that's something we'll just have to face when it happens.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I don't get about like the whole. It's like only conservatives could view the world like where the machines are doing all the work for us is like a bad thing. Yeah. Like, there are other things out there for people to do than like spend all of like not all of their time, but we're what? I mean, a third of our weekdays are spent.
If you're
working.
Lucky.
Right, yeah, right.
I mean,
I
work
lot of other
60,
jobs
70
now.
hours a week, so I mean,
right,
that's
yeah, a solid percentage
majority,
of it.
Yeah.
And of your waking hours, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am not arguing against working less. That's for sure.
And like, it's not just going to be driverless stuff. Like, I mean, the idea of like workers in stores is quickly going away. Walmart's testing like these robots to restock the shelves.
Oh shit.
The cafe where I work, there's nobody actually in there. Like, you go up and you check yourself out at like a kiosk, like you would at Cheats, and you scan your own shit, and then it scans your fingerprint and it debits your account, and then you leave. Like, that's how mini marts are going to be in 15 years. Like, they'll still be, you know what I mean? For now, somebody's going to have to make your sub at Cheats, like physically, like take it and put it in the package till we figure that out. But I mean, we're moving in a direction, absolutely, where we're replacing a lot of human jobs with automation. And you can't look at it as a bad thing. Like, yeah, it is jobs, but we're going to have to figure out a way that people can spend their time without, like,
well, there's solutions out there,
dedicating.
too. Well, I should say theories of solutions out there. Maybe not solutions yet, but, I mean, they have thoughts on it. You know, it's
yeah, right. I mean, you're getting, like, universal basic income.
Yeah.
And, like, that kind of a thing. The ideas are out there, but I don't think that that's, like, how many people do you think that you know personally that you could say, so what are your thoughts on universal basic income, and not explain what it means? Or
yeah, you're right.
And many people will have any idea what that even
well,
is.
it's like the whole net neutrality thing that went on.
Right.
You know?
And like, just for the whatever, the record, like, the universal basic income is the idea that, like, everybody should get a certain amount to cover basic human needs.
Food and housing.
And like, yeah, right, your food and your shelter. Just for no reason at all, just for existing. Just that frees you up. Then you're still able to work for the finer things. Like, it's not going to be enough for you to get the new flat screen or the new fucking iPhone, but it's a way for people to be covered in situations where their job's replaced by a fucking robot, or you know, maybe they have other pursuits that they would like to explore,
I mean, it could
and
really
it
open
allows
up a lot
them to, you know what I mean, have their basic needs met.
Think about how many people are probably stuck in that 50-hour-a-week mill job.
Right.
They are in so much financial debt that they, you know, can't do anything else, but they have a million ideas in their head that could help serve the world a lot better than what they're doing. But they can't do nothing about it because they're stuck. They have to make that steady paycheck. Now you pay for their food in their house. They might have a little bit
maybe
better
they pick
chance.
up a part-time job that still allows them the time to explore the other, you know what I mean? Whatever the fuck it happens to be. Like, I think that, like, the negative arguments against it would just be like almost just like this selfish kind of like, oh, well, people will just, like, abuse the system, and, like, if I go to work, like, I mean, your job's probably gonna, like, be highly automated here in the not too distant future also. Like, we got to come up with a solution for you too. Like, it might not be you in that boat today, but it's probably fucking coming here pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, that's, people get a little bit weird when you talk about taking money and giving it to people that aren't doing anything for it.
Right.
Which is understandable.
Rightfully so. I mean, like, when you just, like, when you simply state it, it's the idea of, like, further exploration. And, like, on face value, yeah, it sounds fucking ridiculous. But when you consider, you know what I mean, our economy and the way that we're moving as a society, and we're going to have to come up with something to address it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, AI is the future. I mean, I don't know if you've seen...
Not just the porn industry, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, AI is the future in that also. I don't know if you've seen... I seen this on the internet the other day. Well, they've always had sex dolls, the real-life sex dolls. Mm-hmm. Well, now they have a real-life sex doll that'll sit on your couch with you and have a conversation with you.
Oh, God, why?
I don't know. I mean, how lonely do you have to be that not only, you know, you're having sex with this doll, now it's coming out on the couch.
Yeah, it's got a bitch about your Netflix program, your Netflix choices also.
What did he say? What, you know, what's going on?
Yeah, right, that too, man.
You know.
I wonder if it's going to be pre-programmed to ask questions it should already know the answer to.
It probably will be. You know, that'll be real. But, I mean, dude, if you want to have a conversation, pick up the fucking phone and call somebody.
Yeah, right. I mean,
go to the bar.
I can imagine. Yeah, right. Well, not that that's healthy behavior either.
But it's
more socially acceptable for sure. Than
I'd say it's a little bit better than sitting with your sex doll watching Netflix and talking.
You know? Yeah, right, with your doll.
What is Netflix and chill with my sex doll night? You know.
Yeah.
Not going out to the bar tonight, guys.
Yeah, sorry, guys, I got plans.
Yeah, right. Like, and do you name
Amanda, you've already named yours, huh?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, you got to name it, right? You're having conversations with it. You don't talk to strangers. I mean, come on. It's sitting next to you on the couch, you know, asking you how your day is. It's got to have a name. But, I mean, how fucked up is that, dude?
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking weird. Well, that sounds like a good stopping point there for episode 1, man.
I think we're at that point, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
well, we should say, hey, thank you, anybody who's made it this far. We both really appreciate you listening. Check out the page. Like us on Facebook, you know, all that good stuff. Every little bit, you know what I mean, helps.
Yeah, like it, share it, tell your friends about it. I believe it's facebook.com/stuckinthemiddlepodcast.
You would know, man.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. We'll get a better specific on that, but most of you people.
I'm sure if you made it here, then you can
probably
find
know
the
about
page. But definitely give it a like if you can.
Yeah. So, but if you enjoyed this episode, like and share the Facebook. Subscribe to the feed. Let everybody know about it so that way we can get some more followers. I think our next episode we're going to talk about gun control. So that ought to be a good episode.
Probably not quite as lighthearted as this one. Might get a little heated, but
yeah, it might be a little more serious. So, well, hey, have a good day, fuckers.
Thanks again, everybody. See you later.